What's going on, guys? It's me, Germano Fan HC here, and today we have another Roseville International Airport update for you guys, and this will be for the month of April 2025. Today marks Roseville International Airport's 3rd year anniversary, and we got a lot to cover in today's airport update, from new models, very interesting routes and airlines, and a whole lot more. So I'm just super excited for this airport update once again. Roseville Airport Update has its Roseville is now 3 years old on this day, April 30th. I filmed my first Roseville Airport update back in 2022, and after 3 years, let's see how KRVL is doing right now. So, super excited to get into this. So with that being said, let's get started with our first aircraft. Starting off here at the far end of Gate Alpha 1, we have this United Airlines Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. This aircraft is going to be making a repositioning flight for Houston IH. This aircraft is not operated with passengers, it's just only crew members only. So it's really interesting on how this aircraft is going to be doing that. Not sure why they're doing it on a 789, but I guess there's going to be more demand for a specific route for Houston IH. So we had the 789, this is by Aviation 400, and I do love using this model. So it's a really cool model, really glad to have it for my collection right here. Next up, we have this United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9. This aircraft is in the Continental Globe livery, or the Continental Merger livery. This aircraft will be heading out to Seattle Tacoma International Airport later. This aircraft is just about to, the jet bridge is about to be disconnected soon, and the pushback tug will take care of the rest. And she's going to be making the departure flight soon for Seattle Tacoma. Quite an obscure route for this MAX 9, but this is a San Francisco route, not a Roseville route. But I'll probably work on trying to at least update the routes, because some of these routes are obscure, just odd and whack. But maybe in the future airport updates leading to the summer, I think I'll change that. So future development is going to be happening for KRVL. Gate Alpha 3 remains empty, but we move on to Gate Alpha 4 with this United Airlines Boeing 757-200. This aircraft is in the stunning Evolution Blue, or Evil Blue livery as I like to say it. And this aircraft had just arrived from Newark Liberty International, and she arrived here in Roseville at 1:35 p.m. Yeah, 1:35 p.m. But yeah, really cool aircraft. I forgot to mention the departure times for these flights. So the 787 departed at 2:01 p.m. and the 737 MAX 9 departed at 1:56 p.m. So this will be our 1:35 p.m. departure for this Newark flight for the 752. And yeah, it's my engine models, and yeah, I've been using that model for years. I'm starting to see more Evil Blues, which is kind of reasonable, because I think United is trying to paint these Evil Blue liveries rapid fire, but we're still seeing some Continental Globe, so we should be okay. But maybe in the at some point, years or so, all the planes are going to be repainted into Evil Blue liveries. So just be aware of that. Skipping Gate Alpha 5 and moving on to Gate Alpha 6, right here we have this United Airlines Airbus A320 in the Evil Blue livery. This aircraft is currently getting some catering done, and the bags are just about to be propped into the belt loader right there. That's about to load the bags, and the fuel truck is currently getting the final fuel checks on this aircraft, and the pushback tug is connected to the aircraft. This aircraft had just arrived from Roseville International Airport somewhere around early in the morning at 8:08 a.m. And this aircraft will be heading to Chicago O'Hare, and this one departed at 11:02 a.m. And honestly, it's been a long time since I last added some GSCs into my airport update. Of course, I think the last time I did one was was back in January 2025, and then in February and March I did not place these GSCs at all because of time constraint reasons. But at least I still wanted to get these there, because I do want to make my airport look much nice, and I want to make my airport as realistic as it can be. So we got our rampers right there. The cones are placed on where the cones should be. And yeah, once again, this aircraft will soon be heading out to O'Hare later in the late morning. Next up, here at Gate Alpha 7, we have this beautiful Delta Airlines Airbus A319. I think it's been a while since I last used this aircraft as well. I can't really recall on when was the last time I used it, but yeah, it's been a long time. Anyways, this aircraft is getting the bags loaded in, the rampers are doing their work right there, cones are already set, pushback tug is connected to the plane, and this aircraft had just arrived from Salt Lake City later. Like, yeah, they arrived from Salt Lake City. I'm saying, like, I think she might be heading out to Salt Lake City later, but she arrived at Salt Lake City. She landed here at 1:38 p.m. That's kind of like one of the... How many flights in Salt Lake City does SMF have? I don't even know, but I'm guessing three times daily. But yeah, it's really cool to see this aircraft here at SMF. I think they've been sending this alongside the AC-20, but I think I've been seeing more of the AC-19s here. But I think I did saw a E-175 flight, like a Embraer E-175 flight from Salt Lake City. So that's uncommon for, for Sacramento to have. But here we have this Delta AC-19, and yeah, once again, it's been a while since I last used this plane, so really nice to have this in the update. Gate Alpha 9 remains, what is that? It remains, it remains vacant. But we move on to this Breeze Airways Airbus A220. Also been a while since I had Breeze Airways here. Not sure when was the last time, but it's really cool to have Breeze Airways here. Anyways, this aircraft had just arrived from Provo, Utah, and she landed here in Roseville at 1:38 p.m. So really nice to see Breeze Airways doing the work here for this particular route. And overall, it's really nice to have Breeze Airways right here. And as you can see, the wing walkers are positioned, and the marshal is getting this aircraft in. So once again, she just arrived from Provo, Utah. We do have a surprise visitor here at Roseville International Airport. Right here we have a British Airways Airbus A350-1000. And this aircraft had just arrived from London Heathrow, EGLL, and she landed here in Roseville at 4:49 p.m. And I heard that SFO is currently doing double daily service with their Airbus A380. But I don't have that particular model, so I decided to go for the A350-1000. And honestly, the livery on this aircraft looks sleek. I mean, you got like the Chatham Dockyard livery, the raccoon mask, and the winglets on this aircraft. I mean, like, the British A350-1000 looks very, very nice. I mean, I've seen it twice. The first time I saw one was in San Diego, and just recently, during my Denver trip, I did get to see one, and I got a very awesome front shot. Let me see if I could try, do that. Yeah, it's kind of hard with my camera, but still, really interesting on how this aircraft came to Roseville. Not sure why they came here, but I guess they decided to, come here again, because who knows when they're going to start operations here at KRVL. Gate Alpha 10, well, I'm not sure if she's going to be parking at Gate Alpha 10, but we'll see. But moving on to Gate Alpha 11, we have this Delta Connection Embraer E-175, and this aircraft had just arrived from, well, actually not arrived, she's pushing back right now, currently on the push right now, and this aircraft will be heading out to Seattle, Tacoma, and she departed out of Roseville at 7 o'clock p.m. Well, 6:59 p.m. in particular, but kind of around that 7 o'clock range. But yeah, really nice to feature this aircraft as well. And honestly, it's just a really, really cool looking plane. And yeah, always love using this in many airport updates. Really nice for all those critical Delta Airlines routes. And overall, she is a pivotal asset here in Roseville International. So really glad to have this. And to round off all the terminal stuff, we have our Air Canada Express Bobert ACR J900. And of course, this aircraft had just arrived from Vancouver International Airport. And currently right now, the caterings, well, not caterings, but the bags are about to be loaded out soon onto the plane, from the plane, and the jet bridge is about to be connected. The marshal has done its thing. Yeah, there he is right there. But still, really nice to feature this aircraft. Of course, I think May or June is when they're gonna have their A220s back from Toronto. So excited for that, and who knows? I think that aircraft will be swapped into an Air Canada A220 now. So they'll be like Delta and Air Canada for Gate Alpha 10. Well, not Gate Alpha 10, Alpha 11. But we're in Alpha 12 right now. So here's that Delta, sheesh, what am I thinking? Air Canada Express here, J900 at Gate Alpha 12. So that rounds off for the terminal for this airport update. But we do got some aircrafts that are currently taxiing. And currently right now, it's reverse ops. So take a look at this. Reverse operations here at Roseville. Kind of uncommon here, but we got some really, really cool aircrafts to take a look at. So with that being said, let's get started with our first plane. Alright, beginning the taxiing portion of this airport update, we'll start off with a brand new model right here. That's the Delta Airlines Boeing 767-400ER in the SkyTeam livery by Panda models. An absolute beautiful model right here. Really glad to feature this in this month's airport update. Of course, if you haven't seen Massive Boxing 15 yet, then this aircraft is featured, but still, this is a really, really cool model. And this aircraft is swapping for the 763 for the Atlanta route. This aircraft will be heading out to ATL somewhere around 2:42 p.m. But still, this is a really stunner here from Panda. Really nice to have this particular aircraft in my collection, and yeah, I wanted to try to get the Gemini, but I do want to like diverse my fleet of Zen 6 cores because I have, I think, 3 Geminis and 1 NG. So I think this aircraft is kind of like critical for that. Not, yeah, critical. I'm not saying really critical, but I just wanted this move because I did see this aircraft before. But still, it's a beautiful model from Panda. Next up, we do have this Delta connection, another Delta connection, Embraer E175. As I zoom it in, there she is. This aircraft will be heading out to Los Angeles. Well, actually, this aircraft arrived rather than is departing. And I guess she's gonna be looking for a gate, I guess. But this aircraft had just arrived from Los Angeles International Airport, and this aircraft arrived at 10:22 a.m. So, yeah, 2 Delta E175s in this month's airport update. Kind of like a common, but I do want to try to like at least do something to have more Delta flights. But still, since this aircraft is gonna be holding for a gate, like holding somewhere, like I guess she's gonna be in the penalty box waiting for an open gate. But who knows when an open gate is coming. But yeah, KRVL currently right now is congested, so crazy to think about it. But yeah, the summer travel is coming, so KRVL has got to get prepared. But what I'm also prepared for is this particular aircraft right here. So this is another new model. So there's a total of 2 models. This is the last and final one for this month's airport update, and that is the United Airlines Boeing 767-300ER in the stunning Evo Blue livery by NG Models. Really nice to also feature this aircraft as well. Gosh, it's really cool to finally have this in the airport update. This aircraft will be heading out to Kona, PHKO, and she departed at 5:54 p.m. And yeah, back during like the whole pandemic was currently out of control, like back in the pandemic years, this aircraft used to operate for that Kona route. So, well, from Kona to SFO. So I do want to feature this aircraft. I guess she's swapping in for a 753 for now, but still, this is a really cool aircraft. And once again, I'm really glad to feature this aircraft in this month's airport update. And I do want to zoom it in because, like, sorry about that, but I guess my dog decided to barge into my room. But anyways, this United 763 from NG looks absolutely stunning, and I'm really glad to have it for my collection. Next up, we do have this United Airlines Boeing 777. Well, actually, before we get into that 777, let's go over this 222 right here. So here's the United Airlines Boeing 777-200ER. This aircraft, we got a really interesting route for this particular plane. This aircraft had just arrived from Munich in Germany, EDDM, and she landed here in Roseville at 2:46 p.m. So quite an odd route here for Roseville International. Of course, like, when is Roseville gonna have an international terminal? But still, it's really crazy to think how this particular plane has a Munich route, even though this terminal is just a domestic terminal. That's it. But it's really interesting on how we have this. But yeah, here is this 222. Once again, she has arrived from Newark on this, I guess, afternoon. Once again, she arrived at 2:46 p.m. I'm not sure if I said the time, but yeah, she arrived here in Roseville at 2:46 p.m. Now let's get into the 333. So here's our United Airlines Boeing 777-300ER. This aircraft is in the Continental Merger livery with the new Spirit of United titles. This is United Airlines' first 333. This aircraft will be making another unique route right here. So this aircraft will be heading out to Taipei, Taiwan International Airport. And this aircraft has departed out of Roseville, if I can look, at 2:03 p.m. So, of course, I do have some significant history of me being in Taipei. It's a really fun airport, and yeah, United Airlines is going to be doing that route from SFO. Well, currently doing that route right now as I speak. But it's really cool to feature this route, of course, with Taipei being a very cool airport and kind of like my often visit airports in Asia. But yeah, really cool aircraft right here, and it's a suitable purpose for this particular flight right here. So once again, this United Airlines Boeing 777-300ER Continental Merger livery with the new Spirit of United titles will be heading out to Taipei on this beautiful afternoon. And as for our final aircraft, I do want to go over this final aircraft, and why not do it with Yankee Tango right there. Really cool to feature this aircraft. Of course, I guess I have some significant history about this particular plane. So we have the Lufthansa Boeing 747-8I in the stunning retro livery. And this aircraft had just arrived from Frankfurt International Airport, and she landed here in Roseville at 1:33 p.m. So look at that stunner right there. So Yankee Tango has made its first appearance here in Roseville International Airport, and of course, Lufthansa wants to send it from Frankfurt because yes. And yeah, I did see this aircraft twice. It's a really cool living when you see it in person. First time I saw it was in San Francisco International back in December 2024, and I got a stunning golden hour departure shot of her. And second time I saw her was back in January, a month later. And yeah, she arrived from Frankfurt, and I got another wonderful departure shot of this particular. Like I got another cool front shot about this particular plane. And yeah, I think it was somewhere like this, if I were to take a guess. But yeah, it's something like that. But she was on the ground. But this aircraft is landing on the runway, and yeah, you can see reverse operations. So really nice. But yeah, I do want to end off this airport update with the beautiful Yankee Tango plane right here, Lufthansa 748 in the stunning retro livery. So that's it for Roseville International Airport's third year anniversary update. And now I do want to go over a lot of details on what's going to be happening for the next couple of months leading into the summer, and that's going to be on the next video clip. So without being said, I do want to transition into the next video clip so I can talk about that. So without being said, let's roll on to the next clip. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this month's airport updates. Overall, it's really crazy to think that Roseville International is now 3 years old. And look where we come a long way, I gotta say. So this is really crazy. Of course, with the tradition of KRVLs, like at anniversaries, I always go for these obscure airlines like British, and then there's Lufthansa, and then all the United wide body routes. It's really crazy to think on how I was able to come up with this airport for like 3 years. And yeah, like really glad that I was able to at least go back into like the groove of like trying to do these airport updates, because the last two airport updates were really rushed. I didn't have much time to do these airport updates, but I was able to at least make one at least with some GSCs. So I want to talk about some things with what's going to be happening with KRVL. So I'm thinking of like, well, I think one thing is I do want to try changing the routes a bit, because like I think the routes I'm currently using is kind of like there might be a mix of obscure, some might be like whack, like some kind of like weird routes I can think of. Like some routes don't really make sense for Roseville, so I want to try changing that so that can be like a fix that I'm going to be doing in the future. In addition, I do want to try to at least add more gates, because I think like for this airport it does get crowded during the summer, so I believe like planes with more gates needs to work out. So like, because this terminal has a total of 12 gates, so I was thinking for these airplanes right here, I don't think that's enough. And yeah, but those are kind of like the changes I'm planning on doing in the future. Also, I do apologize. Like, I don't know why, but yeah, this kind of feels a little bit rushed. So the terminal side of things didn't really turn out to what I was expecting. But future plans are going to be happening for Roseville. There is going to be a new airline that's going to be coming in during the summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but that's kind of like your hint of what's going to be happening for next month's airport update for May. In addition, I think I'm also excited to introduce some really interesting things for Roseville for the summer. So it's going to be really packed. And as for my content on my YouTube channel, I hope I can at least start my airliners videos content, like my airliners content later during the summer. But we got Airlines 2025. I'll talk about my plan for Airlines 2025 when I upload that announcement video a month before. Right, yeah. But overall, looking good so far for KRVL, and yeah, I think I might go over this on a video where I will be I'll go over this during my a channel update for my 8-year anniversary. Not 8-year anniversary on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. Or is it 8 years or 7 years? I do need to recall. I need to do a call back. I do need to calculate on how many years it's been since I created this YouTube channel. But exciting stuff are up ahead for Roseville International, and I'm just super excited for it. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a new upload from me anytime soon. And don't forget to check out all my other KRVL airport updates from start to today. So from the beginning of my airport update to This one 3 years ago. So that's it for today's video. I do want to end it off with Yankee Tango right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Good night.